So, as you know, in the previous class, we have started with different operations, what we can perform on the arrays. So those different operations, what we studied were traversing, inserting, deleting, searching, and sorting. So traversing just going through the array once. So all these operations, traversing, inserting, deleting, and searching. So these will be studying today with algorithms and the program. So specifically, I will go for coding part because algorithm is told to you in the previous class. That is nothing but the procedure is told. So, so when we see your first lab program, so as I said, some concept will be parallelly covered in the class also, the lab program. So as we know the fundamentals of arrays now, the first lab program is about design, develop and implement a menu-driven program for C programming, for C using C programming language for these operations. We need to create an array of n integers, display the array elements, nothing but when displaying, we perform the operation of traversing. That means every element we have to display, then we have to visit each and every element. Then inserting an element in between at any given valid position, you should be able to insert an element, then delete an element. So all these operations are covered. That is traversing, inserting, and deleting. So searching, obviously, when we try to insert at specific position, we are also going to search the array elements. So first, let us see these three: traversing, inserting, and deleting. So theory along with the program part will be studying today. So for traversing an array, the first thing what we need to do here is we need to have an array. That means we should create an array first. So we should be able to create an array first. So these are the fundamental functions. So what I do, I'll go as per the flow. So in the main function, what we have here is different methods we are going to write and choices we are giving for the user. First option is to create. So before that, I'll tell you briefly here. So these two are the header files which are required, and a of 20 is an array, integer array which can hold maximum of 20 elements, because array is an example for static memory allocation. So once we allocate the memory, we cannot extend it. For that purpose, we go for dynamic memory allocations. So these are some variables which are used in the program at later stages. And these are the functions what we perform. So prototype. So as you have studied in C, the function prototype is important for each and every program. It will help the compiler to know well in advance what type of functions may occur in the program, right? So as you know, the program execution will always start from the main function. Program execution will always start from the main function. We are asking user the choice which option the user wants to do, and you put that choice in the while statement. One for create, two for display, three for insert, four for delete, and five for exit. So finally, we ask user to enter their choice, what they want to do. So ultimately, first we should create the array. So first you should be able to create the array, and choice will be giving it here one. Whatever choice you give, that case will be matched here. If you give case one, then create function will be called. For
Sir, your voice is not clear.
voice is not clear. Is it case same case with others also? Is there anyone else who is facing the voice problem, audio
No, sir.
problem?
No, sir.
Audio is clear, right? So because I'm using the two internet connections, one for video, one for audio. So mm, shall I continue then? If anyone else is facing problem, please let me know. Else, if it is not the case, then it must be problem with your side somewhere, because I have kept value maximum. Everything is fine from my side. But for the
It's
corresponding
clear,
cases,
sir.
okay, good,
It's
thank you.
clear, sir.
For for every cases, the corresponding functions will be called. Now let us go for create function. How actually the array will get created. So this is what is the method for creating an array. This is what is the method for creating an array. So what I'll do, I'll take this function for creating an array. this function I'll bring it to the paint. Right, this will help me for explanation purpose. Right now, right. So create function is called here. This is the definition body of the function. Now here we are asking user. So enter the size of the array. That means how many elements you want to store in the array. The maximum size what we have given is 20. But other than 20, you are also free to store any number of array elements. So let us say I want to store 3 elements. Let's take what is the flow in this program itself. They have taken 3 elements. So I'll go as per the flow. Right, for creating what they say, the size of the array element is 3. That means I want to save 3 elements. Say here you give the value of n as 3. That means that say if you enter after this statement, if you enter 3 and say press enter, then that value will be of type integer and that will be scanned in a variable called n. What is the value of n? N is going to contain 3. N is going to contain 3. That is nothing but size of the array. So what name we are using? We have A as a name, as you have seen in the beginning. In the prototype itself, we have seen size of the array A was declared in the beginning here. So I'll come back again and I'll show you. See here, A was declared with the size of 20. A was declared with the size of 20. Among them, among 20, we want to use only 3 locations because I have given size of n as 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on. There are 20 locations. 20 locations are freely available. You can use at any time. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So these are the index values of the arrays. Now ask user enter %d elements. For this format specifier, this is the argument. This will get replaced to this place during the execution. So whatever is the value of n, so n is 3. We have given it during the compilation. So value of n is 3. That n will be substituted here. So enter n elements of the array. That means n means 3. Enter 3 elements of the array. That message will be given to the user. Now this is where the creation will take place. Starting, we have the array A here. So array I index. I is the index which is used for storing the index value. Say I'll start with I equal to 0 because what initialization says here? Initialization says here I is starting from 0 and condition checking, check whether I is less than n. So 0 is less than n. So what is n? N is 3. We know that n is 3. So 0 is less than 3. Condition is true. Enter into the for loop and execute this statement. So what is this statement? Scan the number whatever you are entering onto the keyboard and store it at the location at the address of A of I. So what is A? A is we're referring to this array. What is I? I is 0. So then what indicates A of I? A of I nothing but this location. We are referring to this location. At this location, whatever element you are going to enter, that you should save. Say for example, at this location, you are trying to enter say 5. That means from the keyboard, this is what is the input you are giving. 5, 3, 9. So some 3 elements you are entering. So first element entered is 5. So where it will get stored? At the address of A of I. So A of I means we are referring to this location. So at this location, what element will get stored? This 5 will get stored. This is for example, but during the execution, you can give any elements. But here, the first element, we are taking it as a 5. So 5 will get stored at this location. Next, what happens after execution of the body loop, how the for loop works? Go to increment. Right? Here, the value of I will be incremented. So what was the earlier value of I? Earlier value of I was 0. Now I will be incremented. So the new value of I is 1. Here 5 has got stored. New value of I will become 1 now. So after incrementing, again the condition will be checked. Check the condition whether 1 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. Enter into the for loop and again execute body of the loop. So scan the next element and store it at the address of A of I. What is the next element? Next element is 3. So to which location we are referring now? At the address of A of I. A of I is 1. So A of 1 is we are referring to this location. A of 1 is we are referring to this location. That means we are going to store the number 3 at this location, because that is the second number what we are entering. Next, after execution of the body of the loop, incrementation will take place. So value of I is getting increased. So earlier value of I was 1. Now it will get incremented to 2. Now again check the condition, whether this 2 is less than n. So condition will be checked. So 2 is less than n. So n is 3. 2 is less than 3. Condition is true. Enter into the for loop. After entering into the for loop, the body of the loop will be executed once again. So within the body of the loop, we have only one statement. So what it says, scan the next integer element and store it at the address of A of I. So what is I here? I is 2. So A of 2 means we are referring to this location. At this location, you have to enter, you have to save the third element. So what is third element? Third element is 9. So 9 will get stored at this location. So what we have done here is we have created an array. So first operation of the array is over. So simply what we are doing, we can store up to 20 elements, but among these 20 elements, 20 element space is available, but we have used only 3 memory location. For time being, we have used only 3 memory locations. So this is what is the creation of the array. So what is the next function? So next function here is display. So let us first display. Creating and display both are straightforward. So display means just a message will be printed here. Then for every iteration of the for loop, wherever we have done scanf, just we have to print it. So in this function itself, just we have to print it. So the second function, display. See, while displaying nothing but we are performing traversing. The display function involves traversing. I'll explain it. I'll take the second one. We are just closing brackets. That's not required. But still, yes. So this is the program what we have. The second function, what is display. But when we look at the syllabus here, the second function here is traversing. Nothing but we are visiting each and every location of the array. What is traversing? Visiting each and every locations of the array at least once is called as a traversing. At least once you should be able to visit those things. Right? So how do we visit? This message will be given simply. It will be printed down to the output. The array elements are. So I'll write the output here, how it looks once we execute. Right? Output, where normal variable is getting declared and the array elements are. This will be printed as it is. The problem. The statement will be printed. The array elements are. So this will be printed as it is. Now this element should be displayed. So for that, again, we go for the for loop. Start from the index value I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So start I equal to 0, initialize it 0, initialization. Check the condition whether 0 is less than n. So what is the value of n? We know that earlier value of n here is, it is 3, because there are 3 elements in the array. So 0 is less than 3, condition is true. Enter into the for loop and execute this body. So what is present in body of the loop? Just we are printing the value present at A of I. And here tab is given. After printing, give one tab space. So A of I. See, here we will not use address operator. For scanning, we use address operator. For printf, it is implicit. We are not going to use address operator. A of I. What is A of I? A of I is 5. So that will get displayed in the next line. We are going to display 5. Then one tab space will be given. One tab amount of space will be given here. After executing body of the loop, increment, perform incrementing. So once you increment, what will be the new value of I? So new value of I will become 1. New value of I will become 1. Check the condition whether 1 is less than 3. Condition is true. Enter into the body of the loop and execute the body of the loop. In the body of the loop, we have next element to be displayed. So display A of I now. Print A of I. What is value of I? I is 1. So A of 1 is what? 3. So 3 will get displayed here. 3 will get displayed. Again, one tab space. Why tab space? Here it is \t. What \t indicates? After displaying this integer value, give one tab space. That is 8 columns. You have to give one tab amount of space. Then after displaying this, increment the for of the value of index. The new value of I will become 2. 2 is less than 3. The condition is true. So 2 is less than 3. Condition is true. So when the condition is true, enter into the for loop, and then display the next element, that is A of 2. So what is present in A of 2? A of 2 we have 9. So this 9 will get displayed. 9 will get displayed. So all the array elements are displayed. So when the loop will start, value of I will be incremented again. Value of I will be incremented again. Now new value of I becomes 3. Then 3 is less than 3. This condition becomes false. Then we are going to come out of the loop. So this is what we have displayed all the array elements. That is while displaying itself, we are traversing all the elements. What is traversing? Visiting each and every location of the array is called as traversing. So we have traversed and we have displayed all the array elements. So after traversing, next two functions are left out, that is inserting and deleting. So let us first see insert. That is inserting an element, function to insert an element into the array. That is at the given specified location, you should be able to insert an element. Right, I hope this is the function to insert an element into the array. So how the elements will get inserted? All right, so I will just erase this part which is not required. This is the array. Let us keep this original array as it is. Now just enter the position for the new elements. That is where we want to insert. So we should know the position, because insertion can take place at any place starting from 0 and at the end. Three possibilities of inserting. Either we insert in the beginning itself, or somewhere in between, or at the end. So three possibilities are there. So ask user, enter the position for the new element and store it in a variable called position. Store it in a variable called position. So say you want to insert at this position, position number 1. What I will do, the value of position is equal to 1. That means where we want to insert, we want to insert at the location 1. We want to insert at the location 1. That means 3. In this place we should insert. So when you insert here, what happens in the new scenario? After inserting, what happens? The new scenario will be something like this. Here, the new element will come, then 3 and 9 should be shifted to the next location. So that must be the scenario. We insert new element here, then this 9 will go to next location, then 3 will come to this location. So that is what is the code for performing that operation. At position 1, you want to insert the new element, but which element you want to insert? Then scan it and store it in a variable called value. That means at position 1, I want to insert some element called 80. I want to insert some element called 80. That means how your array should look after inserting. How your array should look here is 5, 80, 3, and 9. So this array will become like this after we insert 80. Because at position 1, we want to insert new element. What is that element? 80. So this is before insertion and this is after insertion. So this must be the output of the array once we insert. What I will do here is this, I'll keep it here as the reference. How it looks like. Right. So this is what is the expected output. This is what is the expected output of our function. Now let us make use of the for loop. Start from right side. Why? Because you have to go from right side. We are right shifting. Wherever you insert, now all the elements will be shifted to the right side. Whether you insert here at the first or middle, but when you insert at the end, it will not be any problem. Directly it will get inserted at that position because no element will get shifted. Start from I equal to n minus 1. That is, initialize the variable I to n minus 1. What is value of n? N is 3. So earlier value of n is 3. We know that. So 3 minus 1 is 2. So I will be initialized to 2. Then check the condition whether that I is greater than or equal to position. What is the position? Position is 1 and I is 2. So this 2 is greater than or equal to 1. It is true. But we are checking whether 2 is greater than or equal to 1. That condition is true. So 2 is greater than or equal to 1. I is 2 and position is 1. So this condition is true. If 2 is greater than or equal to 1. So when this condition is true, we enter into the for loop and execute the body. So what is the body of the loop? So in the body of the loop, what we are doing here is RHS will be assigned to LHS. So what is present in RHS? A of I. What is I? I is 2. So what is A of 2? A of 2 is this element. So A of 2 is this element. So A of 2 is this element. That element will be copied to what? That element should be copied to A of I plus 1. So I is 2 means 2 plus 1 is what? 2 plus 1 is 3. So at A of 3, we should copy the element A of 2. Right? I'll write it specifically. So A of 1 and A of 2 because I is 2 and here A of I plus 1 is 3. So A of 2 should be copied to A of 3. So whatever element is present in A of 2, that should be copied to A of 3. So what is present in A of 2? In A of 2 we have 9. That should be copied to A of 3. That means this 9 will come and it will be placed in this position. I'm just copying, but still 9 is available here. That will get overwritten now. That will get overwritten in the next iteration. So the updates I am showing with the blue ink for understanding purpose. Next, what happens? Perform the increment or decrement. So value of I is decremented by 1. That is I minus minus. Earlier value of I is 2. Now the new value of I becomes 1. Check the condition again. So whether 1 is, 1 second, I'll erase this part. Right. So what is the new value of I now? New value of I is 1. Whether 1 is greater than or equal to position. What is position? 1. Whether 1 is greater than or equal to 1? Yes, this condition is true. So once this condition is true, we again enter into the for loop and execute the body of the loop. So what is there in the body of the loop? A of I plus 1. I is 1. So A of 1 plus 1. Now this part will be rewritten. Right? So we get deleted. Right? What is present in A of I? That will be copied to A of I plus 1. What is I now? I is 1. That is A of 1 and I plus 1 will become A of 2. So whatever is present in A of 1, that you copy to A of 2. What is present in A of 1 here? In A of 1 we have 3. That should be returned to where? A of 2. That means this 3 will be copied to this location. So what I will do, I will erase this. Erase means it will get overwritten. So this will get overwritten, and what will get copied at this location? At this location, 3 will get written. At this location, 3 will get written because we are inserting in between. We are inserting in between. So whenever you are inserting in between, the element should be shifted to the right. Now this is where we should insert our new element. But let us first complete this loop. So go to condition checking, go to incrementing. That means decrementing I minus minus. The earlier value of I was 1. Now the new value of I becomes 0. So check the condition whether 0 is greater than or equal to position. So I is 0, position is 1. So 0 is greater than or equal to 1. No, condition false. That means we are going to come out of this loop. The execution of the loop will stop. So after completion of execution of the loop, what is the next statement? Next statement is somewhat writing the exact value what you want to insert. At A of position, what is the position? 1. The meaning of this statement I will write. At A of 1, you write value. What is present in value? Value we want to store it as 80. That means here we are writing 80. A of 1 is equal to 80. So what will get copied at this location? Here A of 1 we should write 80. What I'll do, I'll erase it. Right? A of 1, what we want? A of 1 we want 80. 80. So 80 has been inserted in between. So after inserting, the earlier size of array was 3. Now when you insert new element, obviously the array size will get increased by 1. So new array size you have to maintain. What is the new array size? After insertion, the new n will be incremented by 1, and that will be returned to the n itself. That is n equal to n plus 1. So new earlier value of n was 3. It will become 4 now. It will become 4. So this is what is insertion. So when we insert new element of the array somewhere in between, we can try for other positions also. So ultimately the algorithm or the procedure here is first go on shifting all the elements from whichever position from where you for where you want to insert the element. All the elements to the right of it, they must be shifted to the right side. Shift every element to the right side, and then at that location just insert the new element. That is the simple procedure. So we were expecting this output in the beginning. So we were expecting this output in the beginning, and we have got that output. Right? So this is what is our insert function. So inserting array elements is over. Now we are left with next one. I'll delete this part. And this is what is our expected array. For next type of function, I'll use this. Let us delete the same element whatever we have inserted. Right? So I'll just draw before I go with the delete function. I'll first take what we have done till now. So this was our array A, index values 0, 1, 2, 3, and these are the elements, present elements of the array 5, 80, 5, 80, 3, and 9. This is what is our present array. Other than this, everything I'll erase. I'll erase this one also. Let us go to delete function now. That means delete an array element from the specified position. Again, you are supposed to give the position from where you want to delete the elements. So this is the mechanism used for deleting elements of the array. This is the procedure what we follow for deleting elements of the array. So am I audible? Are you following the concepts till now? Someone please respond.
Yes, sir.
You're following, right? Good. Thank you. So now let us see the function or procedure for deleting an element from the array. So deleting some elements from the array. For that purpose, again, the user need to specify the position, enter the position of the element to be deleted. So that will be printed as it is. So you are giving position, some position you need to specify. So from where you want to delete. So let us delete from the same position for better understanding. Whatever we have inserted just now, 80 we have inserted. So let us delete that 80 itself. Right? Let us delete that 80 itself. So position is 1. Position for 80 is 1. So I want to delete an element from the location 1 and store that value in a value first, some variable, because once we delete what happens, the element may not be available. For that purpose, for displaying at the end, you just keep it. That is what is present in A of position. Position is 1, A of 1. So A of 1, what we have? 80. That will be stored here. This will be used for future, that is for displaying here at the end. We use that particular value. That's why we are storing it first, because once we delete that, we may not be able to obtain that data. So for that purpose, first you keep it as a backup. Now let us go to the for loop. Start from the position. Why you have to start from the position? Because once you delete this element here, what happens here is this 3 should occupy this location, 9 should occupy this location. If there is any other element here, they will occupy these locations. That means after deletion, the simple procedure is, after deleting one element, shift all the elements to the left. After inserting, that is before inserting, shift all the elements to the right. So that is the simple procedure you have to follow. Now let us start from the position. So what will be the new value of I? I is equal to position. So what is present? What is the position that we have given? Position we have given it as 1. Position we have given it as 1. So whether that 1 is less than or equal to n minus 1. So what is the value of n? So earlier value of n was 4. Because after insertion, the array size has been increased from 3 to 4. So 1 is less than 4. So I is 1, 1 is less than 4. So condition is true. When condition is true, execute the body of the loop. What is happening in body of the loop? At the a of I, store the element present at a of I plus 1. So I plus 1, I is 1, I plus 1 is 2. That means a of 2 should be copied to a of 1. So a of 2 should be copied to a of 1. What is present in a of 2? In a of 2, we have 3. That should be returned to this location. That should be returned to this location. So it will get overwritten now. It will get overwritten. Right, I'll erase this and then I'll put 3 here. 3. I'll just write different. I'll write 3 here. Now after executing this body of the loop, what we do here is we go for incrementing. So increment the value of I by 1. So new value of I becomes, earlier value of I was 1. Now the new value of I becomes 2. Check the condition whether 2 is less than, sorry, here it is n minus 1. I should write here 3, not 4. Right? Whether 2 is less than 3. Whether 2 is less than 3. Yes, condition is true. When the condition is true, enter into the body of the loop and perform this. Right? Now just erase this part. Right? Now, so what happens? A of I plus 1. What is I? I is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. A of 3. Then what is A of I? I is 2. Means the value present at A of 3 should be written to A of 2. The value present at A of 3 should be written to A of 2. That means this value should come to this location. This value should come to this location. That I will show here by erasing. That means this 3 will be erased and in this location 9 will be copied. This location 9 will be copied. 1 second. In this location 9 will be copied. Now, next later what we do, we increment the, after execution of the body of the loop, go for incrementing. So new value of I becomes 3. Check the condition whether 3 is less than 3. No, condition is false. We will come out of the for loop. Now shifting is done. We have deleted and we have shifted all the elements to the left. After shifting, what we do here is we have to decrement the value of n by 1, because after deletion, the array size will be decreased by 1. After insertion, the array size will be increased by 1. So n equal to n minus 1. So earlier value of n was 4. Then the new value of n will become 3. N equal to n minus 1. So what is the new value of array here is? New value of array here is 3. See here, this is the new value what we use. But we will be discarding this, we'll be ignoring this. Why? Because we have given size of n as 3 itself. Only these many locations are available, but they are not useful for us. We are going to talk about only these 3 locations. This will be overwritten in the next iteration if you insert some more elements. So this will be overwritten or ignored. Whatever content are there from this point onwards, that we are going to ignore. Why? Because the n is 3 now. We are concentrating and we are talking only about the 3 locations. Now, finally, we display what? Finally, we give the statement saying that the deleted element is value. So what is present in value? In value, earlier we had taken backup. So why we took this value here is, as you can see here, we have overwritten the elements. So once you overwrite the elements, we will not be able to fetch them back again. For that purpose, what we do, we keep it as a backup, and then the statement will be displayed. The deleted element is value. Right? So this is what the functions of the array. These are the functions of the array. Traversing, inserting, deleting, and searching also we have seen now. What we have done, searching is nothing but this position. Based on that position, we have searched the array elements. So that was the searching part. But still, specifically speaking, we have 2 searching techniques: linear search and binary search. And here sorting, merge sort and bubble sort. So we'll be studying searching technique one by one. But coming to this program, first lab program, yes, this is the end. So we have covered, along with the theory, the first lab program is covered. So this was the first lab program or lab assignment for you for all the array operations. So we have successfully performed all the array operations. This is one more sample output what we can see. Probably the execution of this I'll show you in the next class. Execution of this array elements I'll show you in the next class. Right, we have next program that we'll see later. Right, a linear search and binary search also I have told you about the searching technique. So linear search technique and binary search technique. So any other questions you have till now? Do you have any questions to be asked? Anyone, any of you have any doubts, please you can clarify. No doubts.